Okay, hello guys, welcome to my new modeling tutorial, and in this tutorial we will create exactly this CPU cooling unit with a subdivision ready topology, as you can see here. And yeah, it looks awesome and very clean. So when we apply a subd modifier, we have a very nice looking smooth shape here. So yeah, and we will create this shape with help of those reference images. You can download them in the link in the description. And yeah, if you want, you can also check afterwards my tutorial on how to create the photorealistic materials and shaders and texture and also how to create a nice looking professional product rendering lighting. So check that out afterwards. But in this tutorial, we will make only the modeling. So let's dive right into it. Okay, guys. First of all, we will create the frame and the blade part. So this part here. So let's put this as a reference image in Cinema 4D. We press Shift V. We have the viewport. We go to the top one. So just middle mouse click and to the front one, and we just drag and drop the reference images. PC parts required reference images, something like that, and go a little bit up with the transparency and bring it to the middle. So something like that. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And also we go to the right view and make the same for the right view of the reference image. Just drag and drop, zoom out, transparency a bit up, and also bring it approximately to the middle. Yeah, something like that. Outside this again construction. I hope you don't hear it so much, but yeah. So first of all, we have here in the reference images, like the frame consists of this cylindrical shape, and then we have those kinds of square coming out from the middle of the cylinder. So we have to take it into consideration. So I show you what I mean. Let's create a disk, rotate it at 90 degrees. And I want to see the wireframe. So we go to display and wireframe and scale it up, something like that. Make something. So if we zoom in, the disk goes where here the cylindrical part starts. So we make something like that. Also, I know it already, but you have just to try it. But rotation segments is 16. That's perfect, because first of all, we will create all these details only on one quarter of the disk, because we will just symmetry it over it. And just symmetry over it. So we can just press C. Construction is a bit confusing me. So yeah, we press C and go to points mode, rectangle selection, and just delete all those points. So we just have this quarter. And also what we will do now is create the symmetry. So disk selected, symmetry, alt click. So you see we have it here already. And the same again. So symmetry with alt click and mirror plane like that. And also we choose those two here with shift click and clamp points on axis and delete polygons on axis. So when we put this later in subdivision, everything, the connections between those quarter disks, everything is smooth and everything works well. But if we run into issues, you will see what I mean. So yeah, let's go to the right view. Take the disk and first of all, what we wanted to do is give the disk a little bit of thickness, yes, because as we can see, if we go to the front view, yeah, we don't have the hole here. So we take the disk, go to edge mode, and select those edges, and just press D, just a little bit, something like that. Yeah, and you see, it's not connecting, but that's no problem. We just go to point mode, select those points, and we see those are here on the x-axis. They are not 0, so we just press 0 and OK, and you see it's fine. And the same as here, we just select those points, go to z-axis and make this 0, so everything is nice and connected. Now we can go to polygon mode and select those pieces here and just delete them. So yeah, we have something like that. Now we go to the right view, and you see it is, if we press E, you see it is kind of here on the right place. So we go to points mode, select all to select the polygons, and D for extrude, and we extrude the thickness of the cylinder. So don't forget to create caps, so we have from both sides those caps. So again, right click and extrude. So we have something like that. If we activate subdivision surface, we see we have some issues here on the connection parts. So what I do, I don't know why it is, it's absolutely nonsense. But yeah, because we have here, because of the extrusion, those extra polygons, but we don't need them. So we just delete them, and now you see everything looks how we want it. Okay, let's turn off the subdivision surface. And now if we check the reference images, like this part in the middle, like those square things here, they come exactly like off the middle of the cylinder. So it's divided in 3 parts. We can do it as well. What we do is just we select with the UB with ring selection and edge mode all those edges, and the same on the inside. Right click, edge cut, and we just drag the mouse click, something like that. So we have the exactly 3 parts that we want. Now what we can do, we can select those polygons here. Let me make it a little bit maybe smaller and bring it something like that here. We can select those polygons and bring them out, because that's how it's done here. You see, like those kinds of middle polygons, they are going out. So yeah, just polygon mode, just select them, and just let me think, because we have to delete them later. One second. Oh yeah, that's right. So I'm sorry. So we select them, we go to D for extrude, but this time we don't need caps. So when we extrude, we only have this outer polygon, but not the polygon inside. So we go to the front view, and we just extrude it a little bit, so we don't go out too much. And we have again the same problem. So first of all, we delete those extra polygons. I don't know why it's not working. Maybe it's because the old version of Cinema. So just select those and delete them. And again, point mode, front view, select those points here and bring them all to 0. That, and the same here on the right side. So if we check it, everything looks clean. Okay, now we go to point mode, and now we can start to bring those parts here out. So if I select with rectangle selection and points mode those points and bring it to this edge, maybe a little bit more, a little bit more down, something like that. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect now in this tutorial for that case, but we bring, like, I'm selecting this edge. I can also select, so just basically this edge, and bring it also here. And here in the front view with the point mode, bring this here. So we have something like that. And if you check it here, that's this part here. Yes, this part we will also create now in a second. So yeah, we still have also a quad polygon topology here. So yeah, that's good for us. Now let's check again the reference image. And if you see this part here with the hole, with the circle, it's, if we go to the right view, it's coming again from the half of this middle part here. So we have to create a loop cut with KL, or right click loop path cut, press shift, so we can make it here exactly in the middle. So we have something like that. And now remember, this is our right side. So I'm looking now at from the right side. We can select this time those two edges. And what we do, we go to the front view, and again with D for extrude without caps, and just bring it out a little bit. Something like that. Okay guys, that's it. I hope you liked it. Yeah, let's go to the front view and how we can create the circular shape. For that I use a trick. I create a disk and use this disk as a reference to bring those points to the place. So when we make subdivision, it will create a circular shape. So yeah, disk, rotated it to 90 degrees so it looks at us, and we bring this disk to the place of the outer circle frame, kind of. So we just have this kind of stuff, something like that. How long? 11 minutes. Yeah, something like that. And we can, what we have to do now is go down with the segments. It's far too much because, yeah, let me explain it to you. We have here, if we check this part here, we just have 2 polygons. That's not enough for us. So we have to align those points here with the points of the disk. So it creates perfect circular shapes, but we are missing some points. So what we do, we just create one more line here in the middle with KL, and just so we have far more points to work on. So what we can do now, I don't know if it's enough, we just have to try for now. We go to edge snapping mode and enable snap. And now when we select this point and bring it to the disk, and this one here, this one here, this one here, this one in the middle, it doesn't have to, but I'm just doing it. You see we have something like that. That's kind of right. But we don't need one more point here, because then if we just create, for example, just point more here and take this point here, you see it's already too much. So what we have to do, but we just want this curve here, what we will do, without destroying the shape, we will again with KL, again create a loop cut. Yes. And we will take those points and bring them just a little bit in. Something like that. And yeah, if you see now with subdivision, yeah, it's not looking right now, but it will look when we make the supporting lines. So we do something like that. That looks very, very good. And I just bring this point here a little bit more up. So yeah, now you see we have this inner part and the middle hole. So we take again our disk, our initial disk, duplicate it, disable the other one, and just make it a little bit smaller, something something like that. Yeah, in this tutorial we won't make those how do you say, holes inside, because yeah, that will take too much. We will make it a little bit basic, but yeah, you will see it will look also good. But to create this inner little hole, we took our new disk and scaled it a little bit down. And now what we have, if we take our initial shape, we have again 4 polygons here. So you see 4 polygons, and we have 8 outer points of these polygons. I can prove it if we select those polygons, control click on points mode, and deselect the one in the middle. You see we have 8 points. So when we want to create a circular shape, we take a disk with 8 outer points. So exactly what we need. So we go again to our front view, select our polygons again, and this time we inner extrude a little bit. Oh, we also want to do it on the back side, so we just select all these 4 polygons. And now we can just inner extrude with I, so we don't lose this outer shape. And now we can take our new points and bring it again with enabling on to our points on the disk. So we go to our initial shape, points mode, rectangle selection, and just select the points, and just with enable snapping, just bring them exactly to the points of the disk, something like that. That looks very good. Perfect. Awesome. And now you see it's from both sides we have our disk. What we can do now is to disable this disk, we don't need it anymore, and select our polygons, delete them, and close this hole. With edge selection, with UL, with a loop, we select them, and then MP, or right click stitch and sew. We just with shift click take those same points and connect them. And when we go now subdivision surface, we have something like that. It's still not looking right, but hold with me. And now let's create also this this hole in the middle. So we just again UB for ring selection, those edges, and again as we did before, right click or MF for edge cut, and make it again in 3 parts. And we take with edge selection UL those parts, and we bring them with T a little bit more to the outside, something like that. And now we can just take with UL and polygon selection those middle polygons, and just again with D, without creating caps, just in the front viewer, or exactly something like that, maybe even more. Where am I? D for extrude, front view, and we create something like that. Okay, that looks very good. That's almost even perfect. Now we have this the shape, and yeah, that's enough for this tutorial. Now you see if we look at the circular shape, we have a little bit of a wavy form. We can achieve this pretty easy by, again, points mode, rectangle selection, and just select those points here in the front and in the top. So we have something like that. And we just bring them a little bit out. The same we will do here and here, and bring them as well a little bit up. I disable the snap tool. And the same for the right side, something like that. We have 4 points selected. We go to front view and just bring them a little bit out. Yeah, yes, as you see, those on the edges, they go out more than those on the top and on the right. So something like that. And now Q for enabling subdivision surface and NA to get rid of the wireframe. We have something like that. And now we can make those hard edges. And now it will look good. First of all, we will add a lot of some of supporting lines with KL. So here you see if those edges are far too much away from this edge, but we want this edge a little bit more sharp. So we just create a new edge near this edge and also on the other side. And maybe one in the middle here. So when we press now Q, you see if we bring the subdivision editor a little bit more up, you see we have now a nice hard clean edge. And yeah, the same we will do here. On this side we will bring one supporting line and this, and you see we have very hard, nice, clean looking edge. And yeah, also we will bring it to this part here. So we have this edge here, but we want it hard. So KL for loop cut, and we just make some loops around this edge here. So again, Q for subdivision, you see that looks much better. The same for here. On the both sides, don't forget. Something like that. And also here. You see here, if we want to add this thing here, it's going all over the place a little bit. So you see what I mean. For that, I'm just selecting edge selection, UL for loop selection, and I just select the edge that I want, and then just with MO or right click slide and control click, I just bring it a little bit out. And you see, like the distances are like much better. The same here, again, edge mode, UL for loop selection, select this edge, MO or right click slide, with control click slide a little bit more outwards, and also with KL again, because this works here out well, something like that. And you see now Q, that's looking much better. And look at the topology, perfect, oh, I love topology. So yeah, now we can take this edges here and this edge here, something like that, and it looks good. Also we want the hard edges here and of course here. So yeah, we have something like that. Don't worry, we will make it in a second a hard corner, but first of all we have to do the same for the back side. Something like that, something like that, something like that, something like that, and yeah, that looks good for me. And now we want this edge hard. We will destroy now not destroy, but we will have some triangles, because if we just make a loop cut here, you will see we will lose the beautiful circular shape. So we can't do this in that case. But in that case, I'm just going for KK for the knife tool. How is it called? Line cut tool. And I just create manually a line so I don't destroy the circular shape. And I go to this point where this edge starts and just bring it here and bring it here and bring it on the other side again back. So yeah, escape to go out, and if you now press escape, we have something like that. But also we could add one more line cut, so it's even harder. This time from the other side from the edge. And yeah, let's see if that works out. I'm not sure right now. So yeah, it's not perfect. We have this kind of not beautiful pinching, but in that case it's enough, because yeah, what we are missing here, you see those edges, those are harder than this edge here. That's because if we go to the topology, as we did before, we created those supporting lines, one left and one right of the edge we want to make hard, but here we only have one, so we have to add another one. But now it's not looping right, so we have to select those edges here we want to make sharp, again manually, something like that. And first of all, let's make the edge on the other side hard, so we have like the same kind of topology, just KK for line cut again, and make it here a bit a line cut, bring it back, and also again from the other side, so we have something like that. I know it's absolutely not perfect, but it is already taking very long time. So yeah, we have, yeah, again something like that. It doesn't look so bad. So yeah, now we can, what I wanted to do before with edge selection mode, we select those edges here. Also this one and this one, and again MO for slide tool, and just with control click we bring them a little bit in, but we have to be a little bit more conscious so those are not intersecting. We can try also control click limit, and exactly then we can make them much more outside, but they won't intersect here, so that's what we need. So yeah, we take these edges and bring them a little bit more inside, and yes, you see it's kind of looking good. And okay, we can fix it, but that will take too much time, but you won't see it anyway. 1 second. So yeah, we have something like that, and I like it, and we have it on every side because of the symmetry object, so that looks good. And yeah, the tutorial is already taking very long. Guys, tell me in the comments if you like those kinds of long tutorials, and yeah, or do you want something sharper, or do I do something wrong and I'm just too slow in explaining? I don't know. So am I recording even? Yes. Now let's create those, maybe this middle part here. It's pretty fast. We go to front view, Q for deactivating subdivision, and again just the disk. Yes, just the disk. Right click, bring it 90 degrees, and something like the size here. And if you go to the right view, it is in the front what we need, and with D. First of all, we have to make it editable with C. Polygon mode, select all, go to the right view, and with D for extrude, with creating caps, we extrude it something like that. Doesn't have to go to the end, because I think it's also just bring it to the end. So yeah, we have something like that. And let's see how it looks in subdivision. We put the symmetry object in a null object, so the subdivision is everything affecting in the null group. And we bring this middle rotation in the null group. We call it middle cylinder. And this here is the frame, or frame. Yes. So we have this middle cylinder, and we want this roundness. That's very easy. So we just create a supporting edge maybe something like that and that, and also to the back side, so we hold the form, something like that. If we press NA, maybe even more space between these edges, so UL edge selection, take this edge and MO to slide it a little bit more away, and the same for here, and again Q, something like that, and that's okay. And now we can create the blades. For that I just go to the front viewer and I create a plane, bring it up 90 degrees and bring it to the position. What I want to do, I only want to work now on the plane, on the blade, so I just want to select that I see it, and there's a nice shortcut for it. You go to Window, Customization, Customize Commands, and you type Solo, and you have Solo Hierarchy. Put this to Alt Q and Solo off to Alt W. So now when we select the plane and we press Alt Q, you see we only have the plane, and to go back and see everything else, Alt W. But we want only plane, so Alt Q. And we don't need any segments. We will create them manually. So we have something like that. And press C. And now just bring the points to approximately the shape of the blade. I won't spend too much time on it, but I will try to do it as fast as I can, but also as good as I can. So we have something like that. We need a little bit more form, so KL to bring edge cuts and some more points. And again, just with spacebar going between those commands, we can bring those points there where we want. I call this plane blade because we have to work with subdivision. We bring this blade in the null, and if you press Q or activate subdivision surface, it's not showing. Oh I don't know. It wasn't selected. So we have the blade here, and with subdivision you see it's still not quite there yet. So maybe with KL edge cut we bring some more points, and now press Q and bring those points to the approximately something like that. So we have a nice curvature of the points and a nice form, something like that. Just spend a little bit more time, of course, for it, but I have to be a little bit faster here now. We have something, maybe something like that. And also to hold those edges here, I want one line that go through the middle. And we have to adjust it a little bit again. I'm just adjusting the form to the actual original blade form from the reference. So we have something like that. Now we just need a little bit of thickness. So press polygon, select them all, D for extrude, create caps, and just just bring them a little bit, maybe something like that. Maybe even more. So it doesn't matter that much. And now what we want to do is we want to create this kind of curvature. So we take our blade, we go to this menu here, and we with a shift click we select the FFD modifier. So now we can go to points mode and with rectangle selection select those points, and you see with subdivision surface we can bend and deform our shape here. That's exactly what we want. So what we can take, maybe we don't need the middle line here, So we just bring this at 2, but we need maybe 2 or 3 lines on the x-axis, something like that, maybe even 5 in total. So yeah, we can start taking these points exactly and bring this very much down, then this a little bit less. Can also just go to the top view and just approximately create something like that. Maybe just bring those a little bit more up. It's just back and forth. You have to see. Okay, now I see it's too less. So yeah, let's really make a nice shape here. Yeah, something like that. And also this part is more bended than this. So what we can do again is bring those points a little bit more up, and those points here, which are in the center, really bring them down. Something. Yeah, that's definitely good enough, isn't it? Yes. Alt W, and we have something like that. Maybe a little bit more even down. But yeah, for tutorials, absolutely enough. Now we have to apply it. So we go to the blade, right click, and current state to object. We can take this blade with the FFD, make it red, Alt G, put it in a backup folder. So we have this blade here, but you see this is the actual geometry. So yeah, now we can rotate them. So we just go front view. And what we have to do, we have to, with the cloner object, rotate them along this middle point. And if you see this axis of this blade object is in the middle of the blade, we don't want it. So we go to this symbol here and with enable snapping and enable work plane snap on, we can bring this to the middle of our axis coordinate system here. So now we can go out of the enable snap mode and out of the axis mode, and now we can put the blade into a cloner with the alt click on the cloner and go to mode, put it to radial. The radius, you see it's going a little bit outwards, we don't want it, to 0. And we have 7 blades, I think, right? Yes, 7. So we just put it to 7, and with subdivision, boom. You see, with NA, we have something like that. Yes, that looks very, very good. And look also, if we go here to 2, look at our topology. Yes, this part is maybe not the best, but that looks very clean and nice, and I like it. Do you like it too? Leave a like. And okay, with this part we are done after 40 minutes. So let's just continue directly with the next part. We will create those cooling plates here. And 1 second. Yes, we go to the cooling plates here. And in the original one, you don't see it on this one, but you can check on the website. I will link it in the description, like of the original product. You have also a 360 view. The cooling plates, they have a little bit of varying shape. So you will see what I mean if you just check it. But yeah, to just save a little bit of time, we will create only one version. But then you can create with the same techniques what we will use now, a different version of the cooling plate, and just align them how it looks in the original one. But in this case, to just save time, because the process is the same, we will go that how I just explained it. So we go to the top view, and what we have to do, sorry, top view, and I'll go out of the subdivision. We make the cloner just a different color, so it's better in the viewport. So yeah, we go to the top view, and again with Shift V we bring the reference image. But yes, we bring it to image. It's exactly what we want. A little bit more transparency, and let's just align our frame here to the image, so we know something maybe a little bit bigger. Oh no, that's rotation. So a little bit bigger. Yeah, bring it more in the middle. And yeah, it's just aligning. Yeah, something like that is absolutely enough. And now we have this top part here. And if you check on the, let's just go together. So yeah, we are now here on the original one. And yeah, let's I show you. Now you see those plates have a little bit different shape, but we will recreate, I don't know, like maybe this shape here, and you can just create the other shape here and just align it so it looks like that. And yeah, the top metal part is a little bit different than those cooling plates. Those cooling plates will be very fast, those top part too. So yeah, let's just start with the top part here. We create a plane again and bring it to the middle and make it the size of the top part. Something like that. And we don't need so many segments. So I just bring it everything to 1. So, and B, because I want to make it manually. If I press C, I have here my plate, and let's bring this plate in the front view here to the top, something like that. And now we just create 4 lines, like one here and one here, because we want to bring this middle part here a little bit more outwards. So we have to create some more cuts here. And now if you go to our perspective view, you can select this polygon, go to the point view, and bring this just a little bit up, something like that. And if we check it here, yes, that looks good. And now we just can extrude it, like polygon mode, Control A for selecting them all, D for extrude, create caps, and just extrude them a little bit. Yes, something like that. And you can bring those middle edges a little bit inside, like we have it here. So just select those edges, T, just bring them a little bit more inside. So yeah, we have something like that. And now we can give it also as a subdivision. Or we don't need to make it subdivision to don't make so many polygons. What we just can make, just select all the edges and deselect those one here which are on a flat surface, and we can just give it a little bevel. That's absolutely enough. So we select all these nice edges here and have our top part here, top plane, and go to deformers and just bevel with shift click, and yes, we have something like that. We can go even, I don't know, make 1, 2, as you want, but I want to go with a very hard edges. We have something like that. You see, that looks very good. And nice. Oh, look at this highlights and how it goes. Oh yes, I like that. So yeah, now we can create those cooling plates here, and for that we go again to the top view, disable our plane, can bring it just somewhere down here, and just deselect it. Oh no, let's actually create another plane which has the same size of our top plane here, with model mode, just something like that. Let's give it a little bit of a shape. Let's see how it looks. Yes, oh, that's cool. Yeah, something like okay, we don't need all the details that can you do, but we have our plane here. We give it again just one and one a segment, and press C, and let's just add here a line cut with edge mode. Just add here and here. So I have here an edge, then it will go down, then it will go again straight, and then I want it again up. So again I add 2 lines here and one in the middle, because we can again just use a symmetry. We have a line cut in the middle, and here we want to make the modifications, so we use those points here and we can just delete them. So we just have this right side here, and give this cooling plate a name, and put it again into a symmetry. So alt click and clamp points on axis. So yeah, we have something like that. And now we can just go to it. And also let me check how it looks in the original one, if it's only in the back or also in the front. Yeah, it's in the front, a little bit different, but yeah, just let's do it, because yes, you will see. So we have this edge, then we want this edge going a little bit more down. So yeah, something like that. And on the other side, just a little variation. I don't know, maybe this bring in a little bit more in, and this something like that. So yeah, we have something, yeah, that's okay, something like that. And again, polygon mode, select them all, D for extrude, and let's just extrude them, I don't know, something like that, maybe a little bit. And yeah, that looks good. And now we can give this all thing here, we can go to the symmetry and make it with editable with C. So we have one object here, as you see, and we can give this object again some bevels, because if you, that will create again some highlights, and that will look good in the renderings. But you see, if NB wireframe, those are too much, so we go to the bevel, I don't know, 0.2 maybe, or 0.3. So yeah, again, you see, NA, and boom, you have highlights. And without bevel, you see, no highlights, it's just flat. So yeah, bevels and chamfers are always very important. But yeah, that's absolutely enough. So we can go to the right view and go to the cooling plate, bring it a little bit down here. And now what we can do, we bring back our plate on the top, and we see this top plane has to go a little bit more up. We go again to our cooling plates and bring again just the cloner with alt click. So yeah, we need definitely less offset. So we go with the Y value a little bit more down, something like that. Yeah, you see there's a little bit of variation, but yeah, for the tutorial it's okay. And we just bring the count a little bit, boom, something like, I don't know, something like that. Yeah, that looks very good in my opinion. We can give it in transform, it's just a little bit different color, something Yeah, something like that. And that looks actually fine. Where is this cube coming from? And if we put this again into a subdivision, let's delete our disks, we don't need them, and put in the plates and the top plane into one group. So we have this cooling unit. Yeah, let's save it. CPU cooler. Okay, we have something like that, and you see it's in the original one. Yeah, I don't know, it's a little bit off, but yeah, no, it looks good. But we can bring this a little bit closer together. That's what we can definitely do. So we take our cooling unit and bring it something like that, and our top plane a little bit more up. But yeah, guys, that's just the tutorial. But what I don't like and what I like here are those rounded corners here. Guys, you see, like, of course, this doesn't look exact. It's a little bit boring because, yeah, we don't have variation. So just make one shape for 5, then make a little bit different shape for a plate for the other 5, and maybe third one, like here, you know, and then it looks better. But I want like a little bit more of rounded edges. So I just go to my cooling plate, press Alt-Q for Solid, and without the cloner. And what I will do is to turn off the bevel, and I take only the cooling plate and select those corners here. And just with MS and maybe 5 subdivisions, just a little bit of a rounding. And if we bring back again the bevel, you see that works good. Maybe, okay, we can even make it more, or even make it a subdivision. It will look even cleaner. But yeah, why it's not working now? Yes, something like that. We can go bring our cloner again, and Alt W for everything, bringing again back, and you see that looks with subdivision. Yes, I like that much more. So yeah, something like that. Maybe the plane a little bit more back. But yeah, that's enough. So now we can create those cooling pipes. Yeah, I will create it a little bit more simple. We have our plates here, our cooling unit. So yeah, how we create them, we just make a spline and attach to a spline geometry, just like a circle, and yes, you will see. So we just create a spline. Let me check. Yeah, just a Bezier curve, that will work good. So we just create first this one. Yeah, something like, oh no, we make it different. We go to linear. So something like that, maybe even more, and just bring this here to the top, a little bit outside of our top plane here. So it would be good if you could click Shift, and then it could be just straight, but I don't know, it's not working in this case. But yeah, something like that, and just escape to go out, and now we have this point here. We can select it and just right click and chamfer, and just chamfer it. So yes, we have something like that. That looks very good. And now what we can do is bring this spline here in position. We go to the right view, select the spline, only the spline. You'll see we have it here, and bring it into the position. Yes, I think it's this one, and we can duplicate it because we have a second one exactly shape here. And now we can create the other one. So we go out of our spline and we create a new one. Like, yes, no, we turn them off here. So again, we create shape like this. We go here and we go a little bit more up. Again, guys, this tutorial is not exactly what we have to finish the sum at someday. So something like that, escape, and again we just select those points here, right click and chamfer. And this one I want a little bit less chamfer, so I just select this one and just a little bit of chamfer, and this one here, again right click chamfer, a little bit more, something like that. And again, we go to the right view, we just select the spline, we go to model mode and bring this to this part, and with control click the other. And if we bring all the splines, we have something like that. And what we can do, we can either do this step, which I will do now, to give it geometry for either spline individually, or yes, in that case, I think I can just copy them, control click V, and bring them into a group to make a backup spline if I need them. But all those splines here I can connect into one kind of spline. So it's connect objects and delete. So one spline is every spline. And now I just can bring in a circle. We make it much smaller, maybe something like that. And also a sweep object, or deformer, and bring the circle and the spline under the sweep. So we have something like that. And now we can go to the circle with T for scale, bring them a little bit down, a little bit smaller. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, something like that. And in this case, I just don't want them to intersect. But yeah, you see, it would be better to have them separately, so we could just position them properly. But yeah, in that case, it's okay. We have too much geometry here on the circle, so we just bring the number a little bit down. Something like that is okay. And also we have a little bit too much here. That's because of the spline where we chamfered it. So we can just bring our angle a little bit more up. I go with 9, maybe with 8, and it's on adaptive, so we don't have many polygons here, but there where we really need them. So now we have these pipes, and we can select those pipes and bring it with Alt into a symmetry object. That looks very good. So we have something like that. And now we can create this part here on the bottom. So how we will do it? Yes, we know this part is where our pipes are. So those are pipes. This is frame. Exactly. The backup spline we put into view. Look how organized it is. It's very important. So now we can create this shape here. It's just again a plate, a plane. We bring it somewhere here. T for scale. Make it a little bit smaller. And go to the front view or side view. And go to the front view and just bring it a little bit down here. Yes, activated something like that. So we have something here. Also again, just one segment, and press C for make it editable. Just select the polygon here, D for extrude with creating caps. And yeah, we create something very basic for now. How does it look in the original? Yeah, go even a little bit more up. And yeah, now what we can do, Alt Q for soloing it, E for inner extrude, and to create those parts here which going out, so something maybe like that. And now because I see it's going everything a little bit more up, so again D for extrude, but without creating caps, something like that. And now we need those teeth here, I don't know how to call them, that we can easily do by edge mode, UV, take all these edges here and just make some cuts. So again, right click and edge cut, and I don't know, maybe something like that. How many do we have? Okay, it's not so important right now. So we have something like that, and we can extrude them in a second, but we have to make also 2 cuts here in the middle. Yeah, it's a little bit wider, so just one in the middle to orient. So I have something like that. I select again this edge, which was just for the construction, and MN for the solving. And now I can exactly select all those points here, those polygons. Okay, something like that. Yeah, you would just need to do one more edge, then you could also select again the last part here, but yeah, in this example that's okay. Yeah, we select those things here, and again de-extrude, no caps, maybe something like that. And also you see we have here a bevel on the first and last one, so I just select those edges here and here, and just bring them a little bit down. That's enough. And now we can give all that object again some bevel. So I call it bottom part. So it just gets a little bit more light. For example, yes, bottom part. Again, deformers, shift click for the bevel. And let's play with the threshold a little bit, make it a little bit smaller maybe. And yeah, we have something like that, and yeah, that's for the tutorial enough. And if you want here a hard edge, as you see it here, you just have to go to the phone tag and just bring this a little bit more down. So yeah, you have something like that. Yeah, you have to see it. Do you want the rounding, or do you want like those highlights? But if you render it later. But yeah, that's enough. I bring it a little bit more down. Yeah, something. Okay, something like that. And Alt W to bring everything back. We can bring this top part with model mode a little bit more up, so everything is covered. And yeah, we have something like that, and that looks good. Now, how long is it taking? 1 hour. Okay, all right. Now we can, if we go to the main reference, create these little clips. And yeah, it's very easy, and we don't spend too much time on them. But yes, bottom part, I bring it down. So what I do is we go to the top part where we have our circles here, like remember this thing here. And we just go to, again, spline mode and just create a cool looking spline, something like that. And then it goes like in, and I don't know, maybe here, and inside it will attach to something. But yeah, that's enough for the tutorial. We go to the right view, select the spline and select only the spline and bring it here into position. So yeah, that looks good. We go to point mode and just select all the points with Ctrl A, right click, and a little bit of chamfer. So we have something like that. And now again, we just create another circle. We make the circle with T for scale a lot smaller, and we create a sweep object and bring the circle and the spline into the sweep and make the circle a little bit smaller with T for scale, and just, yeah, something like that. I know it's not so super logic. Maybe we can take the spline and bring it a little bit something like here. Maybe bring some points a little bit more, yeah, inside. Yeah, so it is a little bit more logical, but yeah, that's for the tutorial absolutely enough. So I have here a clip or something, and I can, you see this clip, the axis is exactly in the middle of where we want it. So we can just take the clip and just, again, just symmetry. So we have it over here, and again, symmetry with alt click and symmetry, and mirror plane XY or XZ. So we have, you see, on every hole our thing here. That looks very good in my opinion. And what else we can do? We have, okay, here you see, like on the frame, there's like, again, like some kind of connection stuff, and yeah, it's like built a little bit with the cooling plates. But yeah, we can, it's also like one geometry, but that would take too much for all the tutorials. So what we can just do is we go to our frame, here and raise it. Okay, so what we can do, if we check where this thing starts, so it is like at the top here before the edge, so we need it somewhere here. Like just one trick, so we don't create a plane and try to position it here with like scaling and rotating. I don't like that stuff. Like we go to frame and we just take that what we have already. So we need a little part of here. So what I just create to take out a little part is create one cutting line here and just one cutting line here. Don't worry, we'll delete it in a second. Alt Q again for only soloing this part here, and we go to polygon mode and we just select this part here and right click and we split it, or UP. So we have this part here in the individual. So now we can go to our main frame here and delete again our edges here we don't need with selecting them, double click and MN. So we only have our part here, but let's make it straight. So we go to the top view and select those top parts. We select this part here and bring this part a little bit more up, and this part a little bit, something like here. And bring maybe those parts, something like that. Maybe this a little bit bigger, maybe all a little bit more down. Yeah, for that tutorial, that's okay. Yeah, that we have something like that, just a little bit more down. So we can take this polygon now and just extrude it. D for extrude, create caps, and just create something. Alt W, so we have everything again. Create something like that, and again we just create one line edge here. We go to middle point here. We just, again, with D for extrude without caps, make it outside, a little bit more. Again, KL supporting line. So we have a quad. Again, D for extrude, and I don't know, just something like that. And also again KL for just bringing this part inside with D for extrude, and yeah, something like that. Just for the purpose of the tutorial. And again, we can take this part here and put some bevel on it, but with shift click, and just a little bit of offset, something like that. So we can bring it also a little bit in, cheat a little bit. So we select it and bring maybe a little bit more in, and you see it's coming out of this thing here. Okay, yeah, it's not perfect, but it works. And also because we created this frame here on the same group, here we have our symmetry, and yeah, we have our frame here, and we created this, but it's in the same symmetry group, so it's already on this part, but not at the other part. Let's make it different. Sorry guys. So yes, we have our part here, and we see the axis is in the middle, so we make again symmetry and one more symmetry with alt click and bring it again to X, Y, so we have them here on every side. Okay, so let's create just a basic material. Okay, go into it, make it a little bit more gray and a little bit of GGX metallic look, and let's see how it looks with a little bit more reflection. So something like that. And yeah, you see guys, yes, that looks very cool. And yeah, in only 1 hour 13 we created this kind of model. And of course you can spend a little bit more time. So guys, leave a like, leave a comment. How do you want the tutorials? Do you want more modeling? Do you want more lighting, more rendering? I don't know. Maybe also what I thought about, maybe some kind of mindset. I don't know, like what to do if you are not motivated, how to motivate oneself. I don't know how to do stuff. I don't know, maybe how to find clients or something. I'm still myself at the very beginning of the business side, but yeah, I also had some experience. So yeah, just let me know, guys. And yeah, also I also recorded it already, the lighting tutorial for this CPU cooler, but I did it before, so you will get a little bit different model, but yeah, something like that. So what you can do now is just go to my next tutorial. What I did before, just check on my YouTube list, and then you will create, or we will together create the materials for all that CPU cooler, and also the lighting and rendering, and you will have a perfect product shot. So yeah guys, let me please know what you think, if you like it. And yeah, just I hope you liked it. I hope you learned something, and yeah, I'm enjoying it very much with you guys. So yeah, see you in the next one.